for a chit chat. So I'm making us some tea, and I'm trying a new tea today, and I've never tried this kind before, so I'm very excited to try it. It is spicy hibiscus blossom positive energy, supports elevated mood and energy levels. So I need all of that right now, but we're going to brew us some tea and gonna get caught up.
Hola and hello, it's Ashley Shantae coming on here to give you all an update on my IVF journey. You see me looking down, I have some notes. So I started off with doing Lupron 20 units every day. So that's the shot. It wasn't bad compared to like Menopur or Gonal F or any of the other ones that I did for the initial part of my cycle, which was the egg retrieval part. So this shot, I mean, it's a shot, but it wasn't bad. And it was only one. I was doing it every day before 8 o'clock, and I did that for several weeks. I started on September the 17th. On the 18th, that's when I took my last birth control pill. I had my ultrasound, my very first ultrasound, I guess the preliminary one, on the 7th. Well, that was just my baseline, so I guess they were just trying to make sure that I didn't have any cysts or anything like that, issues going on where maybe they would need to push back starting maybe the other medications, is what my understanding is. So the 7th was my baseline. On the 8th of October, I started taking doxycycline, me and husband both, and so at that point it was just the Lupron and the doxycycline. Oh, and the IVF supplements, and I have a prior video on like this IVF supplement cocktail that I'm on if you want to check that out. So on October the 12th, that's when I started doing my estradiol patches, which I think, oh, y'all see that? Where'd it go? See? I may have to go inside. I don't do, like, okay, this is a side note. I've heard everybody has like one fear that is like an extreme fear that they have. I have two. One of them is being stung by a bee. I've never been stung by a bee. I'm 38. And I think it spans from, I love the movie My Girl. And you know, she got stung by a bee and she was allergic and she died. And I think that's why I have this fear. He's right there. I have this fear of bees because I just don't, okay, this is the fear. Like, if I'm out by myself, like right now, I'm home alone, husband's at work, and I get stung and I'm allergic. Like, what if I didn't have my phone right here to be able to call 911? Like, I just, like, what would happen? Like, it's just an extreme fear that I have. So comment down below like what extreme fears you may have. I know this is a side note, but it was just like a bee. It's a bee in the area, and I need to breathe. Okay, so back to this. I started off with doing 2 patches every other day, and then I also took a diflucan. The patches, so I started off doing 2 a day, and then it rapidly increased to 3 a day. 3 every other day, and now I'm on 4. So I don't know if you can see this. Wait, let's go back. So now I'm doing 4 a day. So that's the placement. So I put my patches on. At this point, my Lupron had decreased from 20 units to 5 units. So now I'm still doing the Lupron every morning before 8 a.m. but instead of 20 units, it's the 5 units. I'm doing my IVF supplements. I'm doing the my thyroid medicine. We're doing doxycycline every day, and now we're doing patches, or I'm doing patches every other day. So I'll put them on, like the ones I have on now, those were put on yesterday. So today I don't do anything, and then tomorrow I'll take those off, I'll shower, and then when I get out the shower I put 4 more on the other side. On the 13th, October 13th, so if you're keeping up, this started September the 17th. Now we're almost a month in, and I'm just letting you know that this is not a quick process. Like, it definitely takes time. So on the 13th of October, I went in for my first ultrasound and lab work since I had started taking all of, you know, the new medications. And on the 13th, you know, they're basically checking my estrogen level and my lining, the size of my lining. So on the 13th, I measured 7 millimeters, and then my estrogen level was 161. My next ultrasound was on the 17th. On the 17th, I was measuring 9 millimeters, and my estrogen level was 747. I had an ultrasound and labs on October the 21st. Hola and hello, it's Ashley Shante. So I just left my ultrasound and lab work appointment, and the ultrasound technician said that I measured like a 10 point something. And I just clarified, I was like, and y'all are looking for like at least a 7, right? And she was like, yeah, 7 is the minimal, so I'm looking really good. Anything over 7 is good. So I'm at a 10 point something. I forgot what the point part was, but just keeping y'all updated as I said I would. And I hope you all have an amazing, what's today? This is Friday.
I need you to know what the day is.
Somebody came with me today. Y'all hear it in the background.
Who came with you? Hubby.
And my estrogen level was 729, so I noticed a little drop from the 747 and the 729, and I was a little bit like, should I be concerned? But they're really good about, you know, putting in the portal, which is like an email communication that I have with the IVF center, and they'll always put the results in, usually same day. They didn't seem concerned about it, so I didn't worry about it. And then the 25th, October 25th, that's when I had my last ultrasound and labs. And at that point, my lining was, I know it was 10 point something, but they rounded it up to 11 millimeters. And my estrogen level was 1,319. So that was the last one before my embryo transfer, which I'll get into that process. Y'all, this bee. I'll get into that process in a second. Where did it go though? You know when they fly behind you, you automatically think like they're gonna be on your back or something. Like I told y'all, this fear is real. There he is. Okay, so yeah, so that was the last one before my transfer. My transfer was on October the 27th. During that process, as far as side effects, definitely fatigue. I think briefly some days for a short period of time I had a headache. Other than that, I haven't really had a very difficult time. Oh, that's what I didn't do. I didn't go over my other medications. So the 17th, that's when I started doing estrace vaginally twice a day. Just that one vaginally at that point. So estrace is this little pill. It's a little blue pill. Can y'all see that? What I did was, because that didn't come with anything, and they said that you could use your hand and stick them in and just go as high as you can get it. But they also said that there was something that you could order off Amazon to like the little inserts, and then she was like also the endometrium, which I wasn't taking at the time, but they come with like little inserts, so she was like you can use those to insert it. So instead of using my hands, I really wanted to just have some assistance to, you know, stick it up there. So I went and got my endometrium box. Again, I wasn't taking this one yet, but it had, y'all see those little white applicator? So it has these little white applicators that comes with it. So what I did was, and I'm just gonna, I'll open this up to show you. Okay. So this is what it looks like up close. That's the inside of it. This is the bottom. So what I do is almost like tampon kind of, or like if you've ever inserted what is it called, monostat, or like a yeast infection or something like that. So you pull this out, it creates the little space, put the pill in, there, and then you insert, push, take this out, throw it away. So I started that on the 17th, and so I would do that twice a day. So I would just, it wasn't time specific on my protocol directions, so I just, you know, did one in the AM and one in the PM. So I started out taking 2 of those. Then eventually there was a medicine called Medrol. I honestly still don't know what that was before, but it was by mouth. So I would take that twice a day. Comment down below if you know what that's for. I didn't even ask. I just saw it on my list and I was like, okay, I need to start taking this today. At that point I had increased to 4 patches a day. I was doing an S-trace by mouth twice a day and vaginally. So that blue pill that I'm inserting vaginally, I also was taking that by mouth as well. Same pill, not anything different, because that was the first thing I asked them, like, am I missing a medication, or are you saying that I'm supposed to take the one by mouth that I'm inserting vaginally? And they're like, no, same pill, you're right. So I did that, and then at that point I was also inserting the endometrium, the box that I just showed you, and that one, so they come with like these little, and those pills, so they come like this. So basically they're perforated. You take this one, tear it off. It says pill here. You'll open it up. This is the size of the pill and it's white. And so you put that in the little insert thing, and then same as the other one. And what I would do is, because, and they told me that this was okay. Woo! Oh. That one wasn't a bee, that was a butterfly. I take 2 estradiol pills and I take 3 endometrium. So I would take the estrase and the endometrium. I would put those both in the same insert thingy. Put those in, one in the AM and one in the PM, and then midday I would just insert the endometrium pill by itself. So that's that. And oh, and I was also taking prometrium, which is progesterone, by mouth. So that's really all of the medications that were a part of my FET cycle. So you had initially the Lupron, and then after, on a certain day, I stopped taking, it was like my last day to take the Lupron shot, and I just was taking everything else. And that's that. So then it was time for, oh, and I will say, I've heard that, you know, the vaginal inserts are really messy. They can get a little messy, but for me it wasn't anything out of the ordinary where I was like, oh my god. But I will say that I've been wearing a pad every day, because sometimes it can get a little bit messy. And that's that. So now we're at, you know, time for my embryo transfer procedure. This spicy hibiscus, it's really good. Yeah, that's pretty great. So they were basically like, no perfume, no scented lotion. I didn't have instructions where I couldn't wear deodorant, so I did wear deodorant. I didn't have any unscented lotion. I do have like a Cetaphil or a CeraVe like moisturizing cream, but and it doesn't say that it was scented, but when I smell it, it does have a scent, like a slight scent to it. Just, it's not perfumey. If you use CeraVe, then you know, I don't even know if it's CeraVe or CeraVe, but if you use it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like a thick moisturizing cream, and so I usually will pair that with Dr. Teal's oil that I like. It's eucalyptus. I love the smell of eucalyptus. I don't know what it is, but that's like one of my favorite scents. That morning I showered, did minimal. I didn't do my normal facial routine or whatever. I mean, I washed my face. I didn't put on like all of my serums and creams and sunscreens or anything like that. I just was very basic. I did have my Lucky Transfer socks. I'll clip in a clip on those, and I'll tell you a funny story about this. So about 2 years ago, may have been longer than that at this point, is when I found out that I would have to do IVF to have a child. And so at that point I started doing YouTube University, like looking at a million videos. I knew about the transfer, some of the old wives' tales with the Lucky Transfer socks. So one of my favorite shows that I watch every day almost is Jeopardy, and I record it, so if I'm doing something where I can't watch Jeopardy, I can always go back. I love that show. Like, I was so sad when Alex Trebek passed away. Like, it affected me. Like, I felt like it was a part of like extended family or something. Like, I was so sad. I love Jeopardy. And not to toot my own horn, but most days I can get anywhere from 3 to 7 right. On a bad day, 0, maybe 1, but most days 3 to 7, and my husband can vouch for that. Like, so, you know, your girl's a smart cookie or whatever. But anyway, that aside, we had this new store in our city called Painted Tree. I don't know if you've had that, but it's like a vendor store. So there's like, it's like a huge, almost like warehouse type store, and it's like, I guess people have their businesses, like, you know, it may be a candle thing, it may be a it's just a lot of clothing, like anything you can think of, but it's like, I guess each business owner has their own section where they sell stuff. It's new in our area, and one day I was just like, let's walk through the store, and they had like this one vendor that had like funny socks. So I'm looking through the funny socks, and then lo and behold, I found some Jeopardy socks, and I flipped, and instantly, and in my mind I was like, these are going to be my transfer socks. I know a lot of people, they have, your transfer socks have pineapples and, you know, IVFs related stuff. I'm like, no. My Lucky Transfer socks are going to be these Jeopardy socks. And like I said, this looks, that's a butterfly. This was over a year, probably yeah, over a year ago. And I've held on to these socks and I did not wear them until my transfer day. So I'll insert a picture where you can see me with my Jeopardy socks on. But yeah, those are my lucky socks. If you've been following along, you know that from our retrieval, ultimately we had 2 girls, a boy, and then one that they were tested, so that's how we know what the genders are. But one of them was inconclusive, like the test didn't say whether it was good or bad. So essentially we have 4, the 2 girls, the boy, and then the inconclusive one. When we had our informational session to go over the meds for the transfer part, medications, everything like that, to do's, not to do's, whatever, you know, at that point, I think I talked about this in my last video, I asked the question, I was like, okay, so can we just do 2? They basically said no, to make a long story short. So at that point in my head, I knew that I was going to tell them to transfer the boy. And the reason I say that is because my husband has a child, my stepdaughter. She'll be 17 this year in December. And so for years, and we'll be coming up on our 10-year wedding anniversary next year in May. So for a very long time, he's always said like, oh, what it would be like to have a son, like, oh, I would love to have a little boy. You know, this is even before, like, when we were trying like all the time to have a child before I knew I was infertile. He would always be talking about wanting a son. So in my head, knowing that we had that boy, I'm like, okay, eventually I'm gonna tell them. And I had asked the lady, I was like, okay, so as far as, you know, choosing the gender, she was like, yeah, just if you know which one you want, just you know, they all look pretty good. They didn't tell me any grades or anything like that. I know sometimes I'll hear, you know, they'll say, oh, this embryo is this grade, this embryo. We didn't get that information, and to be honest, I didn't ask. But she was just like, yeah, they're all, you know, good, the ones that we told you about that we tested. So, you know, if you have a preference, just make sure you put it in the portal before your transfer. So I was like, okay. So in my head, thought eventually I'm gonna put it in the portal. I didn't do it, but I was in my head, eventually I'm gonna put in the portal for them to transfer the boy embryo. He continued to talk about kind of like a boy through the process, and for me, I really didn't have a preference. Like, at this point, like I said, I'm 38. I'm just like, look, I just want a healthy baby. Like, whatever it is, I'll be happy. I don't really care. So because I knew he did, it seemed to have a preference, I was gonna say, you know, do the boy. Well, a couple of weeks into, like, you know, that part of our cycle, I was in a room doing something and he was in another room, and I just get a random text from him. We're in the same house, but we do that sometimes. And he's like, I want another girl. Like, I love being a girl dad. Like, I think I want to continue being a girl dad. And I was just like, okay. For years you've been talking about wanting a boy, now you're talking about you want another girl. I didn't really respond. I just said, I don't even know if I said okay. I just didn't respond because I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, we'll talk about this face to face and not over text. I don't know if it slipped my mind or whatever, but I don't think I brought it up until a couple of days later. And I was like, okay, so when you mentioned that you want the girl, I was like, was that just like a little phase that you were going through? Was that just a little, you know, a little spare of the moment change of heart, but now you're back to what you were talking about? He's like, no, I think I want a girl. Like, I really love being a girl dad. I'm a girl dad. That's what he says. I'm a girl dad. So I'm like, okay. Well, we'll have them transfer a girl. Literally, like, maybe 2-3 days before, he's like, he's back on the whole boy thing. And then like a day before, he's back on the girl thing. And I was like, look, you need to make up your mind, because this is like right around the corner. This is like the next day or in 2 days or whatever it was. And I was like, so if you haven't decided by that point, because I don't care, I'm just gonna tell them to insert the one that looks the best, like whichever is the best looking embryo. I know they're saying that they all look good, but whichever one looks the best, just put that one in. And he was like, it's just a hard decision. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, the day before, it was like late at night, he came in and he was like, yeah, it's like, let's just have them put the one that looks best. It doesn't matter whether it's a, you know, just have them pick the one, the embryo that looks the best, and insert that one. So I was like, okay. So I never put anything in the portal, and I was shocked that they didn't ask me anything about like, okay, which one do y'all want or whatever. So I was like, I guess maybe that's what they were gonna do anyway, unless we decided to put a choice in the portal to let them know. So it's the day of transfer. We were scheduled for 9 o'clock, but we were supposed to be there at 8:30. And this time, because for our egg retrieval, we were like so late, I was so stressed, and I was determined like that's not going to be the case for the transfer. So I think we left out the house at like 7 o'clock on the dot. We still didn't make it to the facility until 8:30 on the dot, but we were there on time. I'm walking in, I get on the I'm getting on the elevator literally, and my phone is ringing, and I'm looking down and I see a number, and like the area code is, you know, the area code for our city, but I don't have, it's not a number that I have saved, and it's not a number that I recognize. So I'm like, I started not to answer it. I'm already a little bit nervous because of like the process that's about to happen. I answer and I'm like, hello, and they're like, may I speak with Ashley, my last name? And I'm like, this is she, who is this? And they're like, they were kind of like, I felt like they were like not quick to speak up about who they were. And I was like, look, now's not the time. I'm very busy right now. You'll just have to call back later. And I hung up. Get off the elevator, go into the facility, sign in. The lady's like, oh, it's your big day today. And I'm like, yes, it's my big day. She's like, you know, sign me in. She's like, okay, they'll be with you shortly. Phone rings again. Same number. By this time, I'm like, hello? Like, this is she. And then they're like, hi, this is... This is so-and-so with the Center for Reproductive Health. Your transfer is today, right? And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. I don't have this number saved. I rarely get a phone call from this number. I was like, all of my communication with this facility is primarily, especially like the last several months, been through the portal. I'm so sorry. I thought you were like a scammer or a bill collector, or I don't know. I just automatically assumed that it was somebody that I didn't need to speak to. And then he was like, oh, it's okay. He's like, I'll see you in a minute. I just need to know, do you have a gender? And I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm like, I know what we discussed, but in my head, I almost said a specific gender. I'm not going to tell y'all what I almost said, but I literally, in my head, I was thinking, I almost said it, but then I was like, okay, we agreed this. So I was like, can you just pick whichever one looks the best? And he's like, okay, sure. I'll see you in a little bit. And once we got in the room and he came in, and I apologized to him again, but I just felt so like, oh my gosh, like, I felt so bad. Like, that's the wrong person, the person who has your embryos to be hanging up on, right? But anyway, Okay, my phone had went dead and I had to put a little charge on it. So basically I was about to tell you all about the transfer. So what happened was, I told you about the part where the little mishap with the embryologist. So changed clothes, they went over the procedure, they come in, ask you questions, you have to confirm. Well, first they kept asking me about my bladder, because you have to go in with a full bladder, and you have a full bladder when you're having the procedure done. So I had like a liter that I started drinking. I emptied my bladder before I left the house at 7, and then I was just drinking water, like a liter bottle of water, like while we were on the way there. I had drank like half. I think like 30 minutes before 8:30 I had took this medicine called Feldine. Don't ask me what it's for, I don't know. I just know I was supposed to take it like I think 30 minutes before my arrival time. When I got there, you know, they did have me take a Valium. You know, they were checking on me, they were checking on my bladder. They were like, basically, does your bladder feel full? Do you feel uncomfortable? If you get to the point where you feel like you're like it's super uncomfortable, then definitely let us know. And I was just like, you know, I feel like I have to pee, but I'm not uncomfortable. It wasn't like a, oh my god, I gotta go so bad type of feeling, but I did feel like I had to pee. So she was just like, okay, that's good. But you know, they came in and out of the room a couple of times, and then she was basically like, the doctor is signing some forms, he'll be in soon. And they just kept checking on me. They're like the sweetest. Like, I love them so much. Like, they just have given top-notch service to me the entire journey, and it looked a lot different than the first facility that I started off with, and you know, ended up switching to them. So the doctor comes in, he speaks, he's like kind of jovial, so makes little jokes with us and me and husband's jovial, so they kind of like do little exchanges or whatever. And then he sits down and I think he's about to start, and then he's like, oh, I like your socks. These are my Jeopardy socks. So of course I got super excited. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, thank you so much. Let me tell you about. So I told him the whole story that I told y'all in the beginning of this video about my Jeopardy socks. But it made me feel so happy and so relaxed, because at that point, like laying on the little table, I wasn't even thinking about my socks anymore. It wasn't even a thought that was even near close to my mind. So the fact that he brought it up, I feel like I released a little bit of anxiety that I may have had, because I talked about it, and the people that were in there assisting him and assisting me, they were just all so great. They were like commenting on it and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, those are super cute and stuff like that. So anyway, that's just a little aside. The procedure itself, I'm still watching for this V. The procedure itself, it was slightly painful, like not tremendous, not anything like, but it was uncomfortable, and there was some parts I was like, you know, but for the most part it was okay. It went by really quick and it was over before I knew it, and laid there for a while. Husband took pictures of like the monitors and stuff. That I was able to see the monitor when they were inserting it in, and they showed me like, oh, there's the embryo. So that was good that I actually got to see everything prior before they came in with the procedure and everything like that. I'm laying there and I just had my gospel music playing. Like, I was trying to be zen, I was trying to pray, I was listening to my gospel music. We were listening to gospel music the whole way there. So I was just, you know, trying to relax my mind and my body as much as I could, as much as I had control over. After the fact, we left there. I know one of the things that I wanted to do was, I know everybody talks about getting McDonald's fries after, but like I said, my procedure was at 9 o'clock in the morning, so McDonald's wasn't selling fries that early in the morning. So we didn't do that, but we did end up going to this other little burger place that sold fries that opens like pretty early. And we ate there, and like how I'm sitting in the chair, because I know they're like I told you, they was like, my facility is like feet off the floor. So like literally I was sitting in the chair when we were eating, and I had my feet like up like this on another chair. Y'all can't see it, but I had my feet like this, like propped up on another chair while I was eating, so my feet were still off the floor. So we ate there, but the fries are good, so I still technically had fries. They just weren't McDonald's fries. I think the whole point of the fries is the saltiness. I did, so anyway, I had fries, I had a veggie burger, and then I think after that we got in the car and we were heading home, and then I think that volume must have hit me at that point, because all of a sudden I just got so extremely tired. Like I just felt like so out of it, like I had no, like on a scale of 1 to 10, my energy level was like -1, and next thing I know I was knocked out in the car. And like literally, like I pretty much slept, you know, I was supposed to be on bed rest for 2 days, but primarily 2 days, and I literally slept the entire day. Like I would wake up a little bit and I would like move from the bed and like go lay on the couch for like an hour, and then I would be right back in the bed knocked out. So I was just at volume, just, it took everything out of me. I was gone. But I got some good sleep, so that's definitely a plus. And I don't know if that was supposed to be the effect, like during the procedure, like where you're just that tired that you're just not even, like, I know it's supposed to relax you, or like I think it's for like anxiety or something like that, and it's supposed to relax your muscles so you're not tensing up and stuff like that. So I don't know if there was that delayed reaction, if that's like, if that should have been happening while I was doing the procedure or not. But it was like I said, after the fact, it just took everything out of me. I was knocked out. The next day, what did we binge watch? I think we were binge watching The Good Doctor. I watched a movie on, like a romantic comedy movie on, what did we watch on Hulu? It was Father of the Bride. I know they have like an older Father of the Bride, and to be honest, I don't even think I've seen that one. But the new Father of the Bride, I think it came out this year. It was super funny. It was super cute. So like we watched that. Husband actually took off because my procedure was on Thursday, so he took off Thursday and Friday because those were my bed rest days. So that was sweet, and just, you know, took care of me. If there was anything I needed, he would get it for me, and that was that. So as far as like old wives' tale, I've been doing the pomegranate juice. Husband got a pineapple and cut it up for me. So I did eat the pineapple core. I think that was the first time that I actually had the core. It's not that different than the rest of the pineapple. It's just a little bit tougher, like chewier, but it was all good. And that pineapple was like so sweet, and like normally I don't like super sweet stuff, but that pineapple was good. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. What else? I think those were the only old wives' tale. Yeah, those are the only ones I did. I did the Lucky Transfer socks, fries, but not McDonald's fries, pomegranate juice, and pineapple. And tried to, you know, think happy thoughts. And honestly, like, I don't know if this is weird or not, but I've been talking. I've been like, you know, talking to them every day, and like, I know scientifically, like, they're not at a stage where they can hear, or even if it's, I know the whole point is to get it to implant, but I was just like, you know, saying stuff like, I just want you to know that you're already loved. You have a special place with us. Like, we're ready for you to debut. You'll have a red carpet. Like, I just want you to know that it's cozy in there for you. It's warm in there for you. My lining is thick for you. I know you don't know what that means, but my lining was 11 millimeters, so it's more than enough space in there for you to get comfy and cozy. And I love you so much. Just stick, baby, stick. Like, go ahead and implant. Like, your mommy and daddy, we're waiting. We love you so much. Don't be scared. I know it probably looks weird in there to you. I know this is like unfamiliar territory, but go ahead and just you know, it's safe. Like, be okay. You're okay. Let mommy know if you need anything. I'll definitely, you know, make sure you have what you need. Mommy, I've been eating pineapple core. I heard that can help you feel more comfy and cozy. So all of that is for you. So I just, call me crazy, but I've been talking to them. Today is November the 4th. My transfer was October 27th. It's Friday. My transfer was last Thursday, and I've just been praying. I just want so bad for this to work. I want so bad for baby to stick. I did like some, I'll show y'all in a second. I did like some like affirmations that I found, like in doing my research or whatever. Some little affirmations that I put on the mirror and look at and kind of like meditate on every day, in addition to just like praying, like, God, you know. And I will say there's been some slight stress factors, like just with things that's going on. Like, I guess it's not so easy for people to just say, for you to just be 100% stress free. Like, it's hard to do that sometimes. So I've even mentioned that when I talk to baby, I'm like, to little one, I'm like, look, mommy was a tad stressed today, and you may have felt that, but I don't want that to scare you. Like, trust and believe you're okay. Like, it's okay to stick and stay stuck. Like, mommy's okay. You know, I tell him that, you know, we have family that's, you know, both sides, that's just so excited to meet you, and that I, you know, will strive to be the best that I can be. Like, I'm not perfect, I'm imperfect, but I would try my best to be imperfectly perfect for you. So anyway, I just said all that to say, like, if you feel the need, go ahead and talk to your little embryo, and, you know, I'm trying to bond now. My blood test or pregnancy test is November 7th. So today is Friday. It's Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I'm hopeful. I'm praying. Y'all send the YouTube good vibes my way. If any of you are in the same process, I'm sending vibes, good vibes your way, like wishing nothing but the best. And you know, I just feel like if it's in God's will, it's gonna happen, and that's where we are. So anyway, thank you all for coming along on the journey with me. Once I find out the results, I'll definitely keep y'all involved. I feel like it, you know, baby is implanted, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But either way, I'll let y'all know what the results are. No, but any questions that you have, definitely comment down below. Any comments, comment down below. Subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed this little chit chat that I've had with you. And peace, love, blessings, good vibes. Stick baby stick. If you're had a transfer recently or have a transfer coming up, I just pray that whatever, you know, is in God's will, that it be there for you, that it happen for you, and that also I wish you all the best.